Protesters gathered at last night's Bangor City Council meeting to show solidarity with local unhoused populations. Good afternoon, I'm Susan Farley. Two people now face multiple charges after the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office seized hundreds of grams of meth during a traffic stop in Corinna. And opponents of a mine in the Katahdin region made their voices heard. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more of these and other stories coming up. First, let's check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs. Devin?
Hey Susan, happy Tuesday afternoon, and we're watching a nice day around here today. Maybe a few clouds starting to approach, but otherwise we'll see a good amount of sunshine today. You can see some precipitation off to the west, so that will leave us alone though. And again, today it's going to be a pretty nice day. Get outside and enjoy it. High pressure off the coast here keeping us nice. I don't think this precipitation right here will be lasting much longer though, so we'll be looking okay as we do move forward. So futurecast for today, there'll be some clouds moving through, and that'll be about it. We'll have more clouds overnight tonight. Maybe a small chance for a shower later on tonight at parts of tomorrow morning as well, but otherwise though, starting off with a good amount of sunshine in some spots. As for the wind, not a big deal at all out of the southwest at around 5 to 10 miles per hour today. We'll notice it backing off just a little bit though overnight, but it might actually start to increase as we head towards your Wednesday at around 5 to 10 miles per hour with a few higher gusts that will be possible from time to time. So your forecast for today, we have upper 50s. We'll have lots of sunshine today, maybe some clouds, but it'll be a nice day out there with that south wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, lower 40s, mostly cloudy, slight chance for a rain shower in some spots, while that south wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. As we move ahead towards tomorrow, middle 60s, mostly cloudy, slight chance for a rain shower in a few spots, south wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Hourly forecast for the rest of the afternoon period, we'll see a lot of sunshine, a few passing clouds from time to time, temperatures in the 50s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Susan?
Thank you, Devin. Dozens of protesters gathered at last night's Bangor City Council meeting to show solidarity with local unhoused populations. Some are upset the city forced many homeless people to leave the city's largest camp last week. Callie Warren takes us to the Bangor City Hall.
Protesters from all over Maine rallied at Bangor's City Council meeting after people living in a large homeless encampment were issued trespass warnings. Those showing up in opposition of what many are calling an encampment sweep wore green X's to show solidarity.
I went home really scared for my friends and family that they weren't going to be around, that they were going to die this weekend. Being around community saves lives, and by displacing them, you are having death sentences for some of our citizens in Bangor. They are Bangor citizens as long as they were sleeping out there. They've earned it more than the rest of us.
Around 20 members of the public spoke out against the city's latest encampment sweep. People who are unhoused say it's not as easy as just finding a home, and they face mistreatment at many shelters.
I was homeless in 2021, and I was 6 months pregnant at the Purple Street Teen Center, and it was a blizzard, and we had to switch from the day shelter to the night shelter. In a blizzard, 6 months pregnant, I was carrying a suitcase, a duffel bag. It was freezing outside, and the staff went inside, and they just looked at us for at least a solid 10 minutes before letting us inside.
Some city council members agree with protesters and say they are working to find solutions, but stress the fact that this decision was not made lightly.
This was carried out with the intention of addressing our city's complex housing and homelessness crises, and it has left many of our most vulnerable citizens in an even more desperate situation.
You're here tonight to see us try to preserve the housing stock for workforce housing, for apartments. That's what City Council does. I see your signs, poverty is not a crime. Everyone on this table has heard me say that a million times, visible poverty is not a crime.
Those who oppose the encampment closures intend to keep speaking at city council meetings and advocate for the health and safety of people who are homeless. In Bangor, Callie Warren, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
As we continue to follow the city of Bangor's efforts to grapple with the homelessness crisis, we have new information regarding the area known as Tent City. Last Friday, city officials visited the large encampment behind the Hope House and Living Center, asking those who were not actively working with the city caseworkers to leave the premises. According to the Bangor Police Department, 3 criminal trespass warnings were written and 1 tent site was posted, but 0 criminal arrests were made.
Went out Friday afternoon to issue criminal trespass notices if necessary and to post a couple of tents as they need to be removed. Most of the people out there are working to get someplace to go. I mean, the biggest problem is there are a lot of people out there that have vouchers for housing There just isn't housing available for everybody right now.
McCambly says those given trespass warnings needed to leave by Monday. According to the City of Bangor, the trespass orders do not become part of a criminal record. City officials say those who remain at the site will continue to work with the city and community partners to secure safe and permanent housing. Bangor has also adopted a new set of rules for short-term rentals in the city. The rules approved last night will help regulate Airbnbs and other short-term rentals that had been operating illegally. Under the new rules, the owners will have to have their units inspected and licensed. The city wants to regulate the rentals so they don't impact the limited housing stock or cause rental prices to increase. You can read the new rules for yourself on the city's website at bangor.gov. 2 people now face multiple charges after the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office seized hundreds of grams of meth and a gun during a traffic stop. It happened Sunday night just after 10:30 when the Sheriff's Office conducted a traffic stop in Corinna. The Sheriff's Office says during the stop, investigative details led to the recovery of 321 grams of methamphetamine and a concealed 9mm handgun. Deputies arrested 44-year-old James Laurent of Dexter for aggravated trafficking of Schedule W drugs. 32-year-old Tiffany Sherborne of Dexter was also summoned for violation of conditions of release as well as various motor vehicle violations. The Sheriff's Office wants to remind the public that if you suffer with substance use disorder, you can call 211 or text your zip code to 898211 for a list of resources available in your area. If you have information about this investigation or the illegal sale of drugs in your community, the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office wants to hear from you. You can call 207-947-4585 or submit a tip through their anonymous tip line on their mobile app. You can also text MDEA to TIP411 or call the MDEA tip line at 1-800-452-6457. A man from Missouri pleaded guilty Monday to illegally crossing the Canadian border into Maine. 39-year-old Clayton Dewhaven was spotted walking with a flashlight down a road on the Canadian side of the border in April 2023. A minivan was observed on the U.S. side of the border near Hodgson. Dewhaven and his wife were seen running across the border to the waiting van. He was arrested by a border patrol and he admitted to the illegal crossing. Dewhaven now faces up to a year in prison and a fine of up to $100,000. He'll be sentenced at a later date. A Norway man has pleaded guilty to fraudulently obtaining thousands of dollars in paycheck protection loans during the pandemic. 51-year-old Merton Weed allegedly filed 8 fraudulent PPP loan applications with different lenders and got $240,000 between May 2020 and January 2021. According to court records, the applications listed false average monthly payrolls and number of employees. Weed faces up to 20 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release, and a $250,000 fine. A deserving family will have a new place to call home. Habitat for Humanity of Greater Bangor handed over the keys to a brand new home Monday to mark the organization's 28th house dedication. Amber Fallis and her 2 daughters will live at the new home on Main Street in Orono. Students and volunteers at Eastern Maine Community College worked together to build the house on campus. In order to qualify for the home, Fallis had to meet certain income requirements and put in what she described as 200 sweat equity hours. Fallis and her 2 daughters will move into the home later this month. If you're interested in volunteering with Habitat for Humanity of Greater Bangor, visit their website at habitatbangor.org. Coming up on ABC 7 News at noon, Maine farmers impacted by PFAS are speaking out and sharing information. We've got details when we return.
Maine has the best shipbuilders in the world.
But to compete, we need reliable and affordable energy.
That's why we're voting no.
No on question 3.
It will cost Mainers billions and increase costs for families and businesses like Bath Iron Works.
Like Bath Iron Works. And the politicians, they're not even required to have an operations plan when they take over. We'd never do our job without a plan.
Please vote no on question 3.
It's a bad idea for Maine.
If you're a Medicare beneficiary, call now to see how a WellCare Medicare Advantage plan could get you some big benefits, including this all-in-one WellCare Spendables debit card to use for over-the-counter health items. Find out how easy it is to get all of your original Medicare coverage, plus extra benefits. A WellCare Medicare Advantage plan is designed to fit your needs so you can be your best every day. You could have medical coverage, coverage for prescription drugs, dental, vision and hearing, and the WellCare Spendables debit card to make getting the coverage you need more convenient. The WellCare Spendables debit card can be used for over-the-counter health items. And here's more good news. You can get a WellCare Medicare Advantage plan with a $0 or low monthly plan premium. How can WellCare offer all of those benefits for a $0 or low monthly plan premium? It's simple. Medicare Advantage and Medicare Part D prescription drug coverage are important parts of Medicare. WellCare has a contract with Medicare to offer and provide these important options to you. Call right now to get your free copy of the WellCare All-in-One Guide. Call 1-877-282-3827 now. There is absolutely no obligation for requesting this free information. WellCare offers benefits that go beyond the basics, and we make them easy to use so you can support your best health. Call today to get your free copy of the All-in-One Guide with absolutely no obligation. Your free guide will provide information to make a smart choice for your healthcare coverage. Just call 1-877-282-3827. Remember, there's no obligation for requesting this free information, so call 1-877-282-3827. Call today.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Opponents of a mine in the Katahdin region made their voices heard last night. As proposed, the mine would be on the Pickett Mountain in northern Penobscot County. The mine is being proposed by Wolfden Resources, a Canadian exploration and development company. Maine's Land Use Planning Committee held a public comment session after acknowledging the mine's controversy.
I think the overwhelming majority of Maine, if you ask them whether they think there should be a mine in the Katahdin region, would say no. And so the reason we have so many people showing up here in Bangor to this opportunity to speak and communicate to the Commission, I think reflects the sentiment of the people of Maine.
The rally featured a variety of public speakers. Individuals were invited to testify before the Land Use Planning Committee about their personal opinions. Concerns include everything from mining safety to environmental effects. Several Maine farmers impacted by the forever chemicals known as PFAS gathered at a conference in Michigan Monday, sharing how Maine has been a leader in addressing this contamination crisis. Our Grace Blanchard has the details.
PFAS chemicals continue to impact thousands of farmers all across the state, contaminating crops and disrupting the livelihoods and businesses of many.
But farmers are a business, and they have been the most highly impacted from a business perspective, but also from a health perspective. They're worried about their families.
As Maine continues to tackle this growing issue, several Maine policy experts and farmers spoke at a symposium in Michigan to share the state's efforts.
It's just a good opportunity for states to learn from each other. Maine is definitely in the lead in terms of what we are doing around helping our farmers, the research that we're doing, the legislation that we've passed on source reduction.
Maine farmers were joined by others from across the country as they spoke on the economic and health impacts of PFAS contamination of farmland.
PFAS has managed to rob my dairy operation, that goes back 3 generations. We've managed to have to exterminate 80% of our herd.
Fred Stone runs a dairy farm in Arundel and says his farm has been described as ground zero after he says the highest levels of PFAS at the time were found in his water in 2016.
This is a food safety and a health issue, make no bones about it.
Farmers say this is a growing issue all across the country, and the state of Maine's efforts are grabbing national recognition.
The state of Maine has taken the lead in being on the forefront on helping farmers, and we look forward to seeing how that goes.
Advocates say the conference is another step forward in encouraging other states to follow along with Maine's efforts to continue testing for these harmful chemicals.
It's always good to get an opportunity to learn. You can always learn something. And so this conference brings all of those, brings advocates, legislators, impacted communities, researchers, and companies together to really have in-depth conversations about what is possible moving forward.
In Bangor, Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
A second Blue Ribbon Commission tasked with studying emergency medical services in Maine met for the first time Monday. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard was there and has more about what they hope to accomplish in the next few months.
There's lots of work to be done, and I'm excited to be doing it with each and every one of you.
The Blue Ribbon Commission to study emergency medical services in the state has returned for the second year in a row. Previously, they laid out a series of recommendations, one of which resulted in successful legislation setting aside funds for EMS services in Maine.
Legislature appropriated $31 million from the unappropriated surplus of the general fund to the newly created Emergency Medical Services Stabilization and Sustainability Program.
The goal for this commission this time around is to examine the structure, support, and delivery of EMS services in Maine and how departments can streamline that process to provide the best possible EMS services.
So that's what really Maine EMS has to start thinking about strategically, is what can we do to ameliorate the problem and address the problem for tomorrow, because it's really challenging for us to address it today per se.
Sam Hurley, the director of Maine Emergency Medical Services, says there's a lot of work needed surrounding the public perception of the EMS industry, especially when it comes to how EMS services are funded.
And I think that is one of our biggest problems and biggest challenges for EMS as an industry nationally, is making sure that people understand how EMS works, why it works the way it does, and its capacity to meet the growing needs of our healthcare system.
The commission is allotted 6 meetings to discuss the needs of emergency medical services in Maine and recommend short-term and long-term solutions to the legislature and governor. Their final report is due by December 15th. In Augusta, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Friend, but there are some things you need to know. We'll be right back.
The big automakers want a monopoly on your car repairs. That's why they're starting to restrict access to your car's mechanical data. But voting yes on question 4, right to repair, will stop them. Hundreds of local independent repair shops across Maine urge yes on 4, because yes on 4 will protect consumer choice and save thousands of Maine jobs.
It's your car. It should be your choice where to fix it.
Vote yes on question 4. Yes on right to repair.
The mad dash to the school bus, the client presentation, ballet, hockey practice, and band rehearsal, followed by, ouch, who has time to dash out for groceries? Don't worry, you've got this in the bag. With Hannaford To Go Pickup and Delivery, the fresh food your family loves is just a click away. Convenience is in the bag at Hannaford Supermarkets.
Here with At Home Kitchen, Bath, and Flooring in Dover Foxcroft, we are proud to be the one-stop destination for all of your interior home renovation needs. Here you'll find our amazing kitchen design team and our flooring installers on staff and ready for you and your custom projects. We have over 50 years of combined experience, and we will work with you from start to finish, including design, demo, and cleanup. So come on down and see us and see what we can do to make you feel at home.
Some things are worth waiting for. Something reliable, something loyal, something long-lasting. A 6-year warranty? Coyote's got that. One machine for all the dirty work? Count on Coyote. Coyote won't break your heart, and Whittemore & Sons got the deals that won't break the bank. So quit swiping and settling for less. Slide into Whittemore & Sons and be treated like family. By a family who cares. 257 Waterville Road, Skowhegan.
The United States is now weighing options to respond to the Iranian-backed militants in the Middle East. This as the Biden administration continues to urge Israel to delay its planned ground invasion in order to free more hostages. ABC's Ika Jachi has more.
This morning, ABC News learning the U.S. military is weighing more options to respond to Iranian-backed militants in the Middle East after Israel ramped up its war against Hamas in Gaza. In an exclusive interview with ABC News, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says the U.S. is ready to protect its interests in the region.
We're going to do what's necessary to make sure that our troops are in the right, good position, they're protected, and that we have the ability to respond.
The White House accusing Iran of actively facilitating rocket and drone attacks on U.S. military bases in the region, from Syria to Iraq and beyond.
I don't believe that Hezbollah leadership does want to get involved, but ultimately they're going to get a lot of guidance from Iran.
The Biden administration has advised Israeli officials to consider delaying its ground invasion in order to secure the release of more hostages. This dramatic video showing the moment two elderly Israeli hostages, 85-year-old Yoshev Lifshitz and 79-year-old Nurit Kupfer, were released, arriving at the border between Gaza and Egypt. The U.S. says efforts are ongoing to secure the release of 10 Americans and about 200 other hostages still being held. This as humanitarian aid into Gaza is still trickling in. At Egypt's Rafah border crossing, a relatively small amount of aid, just 20 trucks, getting into Gaza for the third day. Hundreds more trucks filled with badly needed water, food, and medicine waiting to be cleared. Israeli Defense Forces say 3 Hamas deputy commanders were killed overnight after troops carried out an attack in what they're calling a military compound owned by Hezbollah. The IDF says the attack was in response to launches from Lebanon. Ika Jachi, ABC News, Washington.
Dogs can be great companions and positively impact our lives and health in many ways. Owners should be aware that they can sometimes get us sick. With more, here's ABC's Ika Jachi.
Your furry best friend can have many positive effects on you and your family's life, like influencing social, emotional, and cognitive development in children and promoting an active lifestyle. Some dogs can even detect oncoming epileptic seizures or the presence of certain cancers. Others can relieve stress or anxiety in people. According to the CDC, nearly 40% of U.S. households own a dog, but many Americans may be unaware that dogs can sometimes carry harmful germs that can make people sick. These germs can cause a variety of illnesses, like minor skin infections or even more serious illnesses. The CDC recommends protecting yourself by thoroughly washing your hands after handling, caring for, feeding, or cleaning up after your dogs. Picking up after your pet is especially important in areas where children play, and it helps prevent diseases from spreading. And don't forget to provide your pup with routine vet care so that you and your family, including your dog, stay happy and healthy. With this Medical Minute, I'm Ika Jachi.
When we return, Devin Biggs has your 5-day forecast.
To keep the doors open as long as we have, the customers always come first. And that's why we're against Question 3. Question 3 costs $13.5 billion. That's billion with a B, which could mean higher taxes for all Mainers. It turns our power grid over to the politicians, the same politicians that take money from the oil and gas companies. They put themselves first, not us. Question 3 is a risk Mainers cannot afford.
With AAA Insurance, by bundling our home and auto policies, we saved over $450.
And we were shocked at the savings.
When we switched to AAA auto insurance and bundled our policies, we were able to save over $400 every year.
Switch to AAA Insurance today, and you could save an average of $483 on auto insurance.
Compare that to State Farm, Geico, even Allstate. Call now for your free AAA full picture quote to find out how much you could save.
Well, my passion is hang gliding. I've been doing it for over 30 years, and it's like flying. I mean, it's like everything you always dreamed about. AAA Insurance helps us save more.
And do more.
The savings from AAA Insurance has allowed me to pursue my passion of making jewelry. It's great to have a little bit of extra cash to do something that you love.
To find out how much you could save by switching to AAA Insurance, call 866-460-1310 for your free AAA full picture quote today. You'll be glad you did.
Herman Middle School students are working towards a special goal with their Socktober campaign this month. All 5th through 8th graders at the school are encouraged to bring in new pairs of socks throughout the month that will be given to the homeless. Their donations are collected in boxes in each homeroom. The classroom that collects the most will win a pizza party. The organizer says the goal is to collect 1,000 pairs of socks by the end of the month. So far, students have donated 450 pairs, so there's still time to reach their goal. After all the rain, it's good to see sunshine. Let's check in with Devin Biggs to find out if it will last. Devin?
Alrighty, here we go. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Healing Hands Massage in Hampton, providing professional massage services tailored specifically for their clients. Stop by Healing Hands Massage today. You'll thank yourself later. Alrighty, here we go. So again, we had a little bit of fog earlier this morning. It wasn't very widespread, mainly in the northwestern parts of the state. And we had some near Millinocket earlier today as well, but now we're looking pretty good for the time being. But as we do take a look outside as well, it's looking pretty nice outside as well with a lot of sunshine out there. We do have some clouds that have been developing from time to time. Yeah, there's some precipitation there as well. I think a lot of that will start to fizzle out as we do move forward today with some nice weather that will be moving in. Thanks to high pressure that's not too far away. High pressure right about here, keeping our weather nice with some active weather off toward the west. So, in fact, a lot of systems right here as well with a lot of rain that will be moving in some spots. We have a few small chances on the way, but I think most of us will be looking okay as we do move forward. Futurecast for today, we'll have a lot of sunshine, a few passing clouds in some spots. We'll have a few clear skies, or a few moments of clear skies for a while before we watch for more clouds moving in late tonight and parts of Wednesday morning. Even a slight chance for a shower from time to time too. But starting the day off Wednesday with a lot of sunshine, some more clouds to the north, even a few showers in the northern parts of the state as well. A few of those may try to sink down to our northern counties as well, but everyone else staying dry out there with just clouds that will be moving in. Smaller chances for a few showers still possible Wednesday night and parts of Thursday as well. But again, looking pretty good as we get towards Thursday morning. A lot of sunshine to the south, maybe some clouds further off towards the north. As for any rainfall chances, though, this is what it's going to look like. Just some chances for rain between now and Sunday, though, but the better opportunities will be near the Caribou area, with lesser opportunities further down to the south. So that's why we're going with a small chance for precipitation. But otherwise, we will be looking okay for the time being. Some gusty winds today, reaching up to around 15 miles per hour at best. We'll back it off a little bit later on tonight, though. But notice by tomorrow, the winds will increase yet again in a few spots, possibly reaching up to 20 to 25 miles per hour in a few spots. And that'll be the overall gusts. The sustained winds won't be too bad. As our average high temperature is 55 degrees. We'll do the upper 50s today, though, in a few spots. Middle 60s Wednesday, lower 70s Thursday, back in the upper 60s Friday, lower 70s again Saturday, and then the cool down Sunday into Monday, back in the lower 50s. Forecast for today, upper 50s, mostly sunny and awesome out there. Some clouds moving through, and a south wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Later on tonight, lower 40s, mostly cloudy, slight chance for a shower in a few spots. South wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. By tomorrow, middle 60s, mostly cloudy, slight chance for a shower in a few spots. South wind around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Some higher gusts cannot be ruled out. Here's your extended forecast brought to you by Healing Hands Massage. Will be partly cloudy on Thursday with highs in the low 70s, upper 60s on Friday with a mostly cloudy sky, and partly cloudy on Saturday, highs in the low 70s.
Thank you, Devin. That's all for ABC 7 News at noon. Thanks for watching. I'm Susan Farley. We'll see you this evening on ABC 7 News at 6. Have a great afternoon.